Greetings in the love and in the light of our infinite prime creator, the divine grid programmer. I now would like to share an anonymous comment that was left on a YouTube video. And I invite your indulgence as I transcribe this comment for your consideration in the love and in the light. I suffer from severe sleep apnea and was not using a continuous positive airway breathing device. One night, I must have stopped breathing for too long, and this happened. I awoke to find myself standing in the presence of a huge sun or sphere of light, quickly understanding that this sun was pure conscious awareness. Although its surface was only swirling light and did not have a face, it seemed as if it was smiling at me and had nothing but love for me. I felt its thoughts as one with my own, and felt it peering deeply within my own awareness, knowing everything about me all at once. Standing in its presence, I was overcome by a deep sense of awe, and at the same time, I was surprised to find myself so fully conscious in this empty but light-filled void. There was nothing in existence for me but myself and this bright, bluish white sun smiling its awareness at me. It was unlike any place on earth, and yet as real as waking reality. In fact, it was more real. I was super conscious. Suddenly, I came to a profound awareness that this sun was God. I was so overwhelmed and surprised that God was real, but I mentally gasped and then yelled out, "You are real!" I'd always had a deep mistrust of religion. Years before this experience, I had decided, for many seemingly valid reasons, that God and religion were only a product of the human mind. But there I was, standing in the presence of what I knew without a doubt it was God. What I had previously thought to be the truth about the universe was shattered, and I stood there stunned, having had my world turned around so quickly. I was happy because I had always hoped that God was real and that there was a future beyond the physical. As I stood in his presence, I perceived myself to be nothing but pure awareness without a body. This sun of awareness fully merged with me, seeing everything inside of me. It saw everything I had ever done and failed to do, both good and bad. And yet, I did not sense or feel this being was judging me or my past. There was no serial motion picture review of my life, just a sudden and full knowing about all things I had ever done, thought, and experienced. Because this sun of awareness, God, was peering so fully and deeply into me, I felt totally naked, more naked than if I were standing without clothes in front of a million people. This being seemed to be the consciousness of everyone I had ever known, plus that of millions of others. It seemed to be everyone, but incredible as it might seem, most of all, it seemed to be me. Even though I had no awareness of having a body, this feeling of nakedness was more than I could stand. Before I had time to think about what I was doing, I began moving away from this being as fast as I could. It wasn't that I was afraid, nor that I wanted to get away from this wonderful sun of life. It was more like an automatic response to feeling more naked than I thought naked could be. As I was traveling away from this being, I found myself bursting through some kind of barrier into a blackness that was filled with wonderful stars and space. As I continued moving forward at a tremendous speed through the star fields, I soon found myself slowing down as if I was up against another barrier or membrane. It seemed to stretch slightly, and then I burst through it into another blackness of stars, star-filled space. I continued to speed away faster and faster and faster, but regardless of how much physical distance I traveled, I was never any further away from the sun of awareness at all. I quickly traveled through several star fields, spaces, at least 6 of them, beyond the great sphere of light, each separated one another by barriers that I was easily penetrating. As I passed through each layer, my speed increased each time, but the sun's consciousness was still with me. It was still deeply within my own consciousness. And all of a sudden, I fell through the top of my bedroom ceiling, hit my body with a jolt, and immediately woke up. The jolt was so strong that my bed physically bounced as my body jerked away in response to the sudden stop. I opened my eyes and immediately spoke in a low and powerful voice. I am that great I am. I am that great I am. Namaste, namaskaram.